Hello everybody, and this is episode 2 on how to script on Roblox. And this episode we're going to be showing you how to make a function, or how to do functions. And what functions are basically calling, well, things like, for example, this button. This button is connected to this missile. And if it's pressed, this missile will launch. And the reason why is because whenever button press, trigger whatever instructs on the other end. So it's basically, if I press this button, and even if there wasn't a missile and there was like something else like turn brick blue, then it will do it. But it won't do it unless if you press that button, or if you call it if you press the button. So how you are supposed to do it is a function, well, any type of function. So like if I make a script in the part, and if you go to my first episode, it'll show you how to make properties and how to find the parent and stuff. So if we get script.parent, and then if it's touched, this is an event, then you will connect it as a function. So a function is basically when it's touched, it's basically pressing the button to make whatever is in here. So a way to find out, we could do print touched part. So basically, if you print and then you put in some quotation marks, you can say whatever. It doesn't need to be ones or zeros and stuff. It can just be touched part in the function. So this function is basically, the touched event is the button, and then the button connects to the function. So touch button connect is the wire from the wire to the missile, and the missile is the function that is right in here. So if I press play, you cannot press run on this one because it needs to be touching something. So I'm just going to be having it touch something. And you see in the output it already touched something. It's because I already put the part is touching the base plate. So you could just turn that off by just putting it as anchored, but I just forgot to. So if you walk up, if my leg touches it, as you can see, it's going pretty fast. It's almost to 100. And you can do it, and once you step off, it won't register as a touched part. So that is basically events. You can do anything from script.parent.changed, like anything in the property has been changed, or blocked if it's locked or something, then it'll connect. Another thing could be functions or local functions. So local function, this is not that useful, but it can be. These types of local functions you would have to put something, a name for the function. So you can do call func. That is my name for the function, and this call func is whatever you can put it. You can put it as hello. It doesn't matter. So you can put it as hello. Let's say that. So a local function is basically different than a function. We can do functions first because that is a lot easier. Functions instead of local functions can be called from this side and top. So it is hello. So whenever this line is crossed, it will send, this is the button, and then this is the missile from the example earlier. So like if I do another thing like function, and then I could call it from that function, and then I could call it from here. Another thing you can do is, if script.parent has been touched, you can connect that to the hello. So you can do that. So if the script.parent is touched, you can still connect it to this function. It doesn't need to be a new function. It can just be a function to here. And the function can be even here. So if script.parent has been touched, then you can connect it up here too, because this is a function, not a local function. Local functions, on the other hand, cannot be called from things above the function. So if there is something here, if you want to call it from here, you cannot. Like this right here, you cannot call this function if it's above the function, but you can from underneath. So that's why I don't really like local functions. I just like functions. And that's all you need really to know. There's a lot more about functions, but we'll get that later. And see ya in another episode. Goodbye.